Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Procrastinators Pit Stop. We are here again with Laura Berkey, and today we're going to be diving into the often underestimated power of the word ready. While it's easy and exciting to imagine goals and aspirations in an instant, the real challenge lies in ensuring we're truly prepared to pursue them. Too often, we skip this critical step, losing focus and momentum along the way. In this conversation, Laura Berkey will reveal how the word ready can become your secret weapon for staying aligned, motivated, and consistently hitting your personal and professional targets with focus and follow through. Laura, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So, tell us about this SpongeBob meme. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. What does ready mean?
Well, here's what ready means in Laura Berkey land. So early in my coaching career, and actually I would say it's probably before that, early in my coaching career when I was developing the skills and the chops to coach, one thing that was very difficult for me, in egoically and even in integrity was that here I was trying to help people accomplish their goals, have momentum and stay committed and follow through. And I, behind my closed front door, I wasn't doing that. And so I looked at that. I'm like, why? Why do I each year? So as years went by, I'm like, why at the beginning of every year or every 6 months of my life, when I write out my goal list, does this goal keep appearing? Like I'm never doing anything about it. It's never getting fulfilled. And I mean, years would go by and I had like, here's that same goal. Here's that same goal. And so that was a head scratcher for me. Like, what is that? Why is that? Because I had plenty of techniques, plenty of processes, plenty of understanding about how we work. And that wasn't happening. Do you relate with that at all in your past, in your life? And so then here's what I discovered. So one, I knew that was true for me. And then I also saw that many of the clients who were coming to me, it was true for them too. So after so many conversations and me being one of the clients I was having a conversation with, I realized I'm like, oh, so here's what it is. It's not I'm lazy. It's not I can't. It's an unrealistic goal, which is really what I would have started to believe had I not really looked at this. But what I realized was I'm not ready for that goal. I'm not ready for it. So if we just go back, so right now we're in 2025. If we just go back to the year 2000 or 2010 even, 2010, so that whole decade. On my goal list, I was putting some, they say, oh, make it a really compelling big goal so that you really have something to go for. That sometimes was advice about how to like really get excited and energy for your goals, was make them big. And then also there is the kind of the collective mind where it's like, well, everybody is, wanting to have a business of their own or to work a 4-hour week or to go vegetarian. I mean, there's some things that the collective is doing that people start to think, oh, I guess I should have that as my goal too. Do you relate with that at all? Ever been there, done that?
Yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt
Yeah.
printed, sold it.
So it dawned on me finally after kind of my, time that I'm like, oh my gosh. So some of these goals, first of all, I'll just get this out of the way. Some of these goals aren't even mine. I don't really have any heart for that. I have no care or real genuine interest for that. So those I knocked right out of my list. But then there were some and I'm like, but ooh, there's that one. And what I discovered was like one of my goals. Now I'm a single mom of 2 kids who now are 16 and 18, but go back 10 years ago, they were 6 and 8. And one of my goals was, I wanted to travel, abroad and do work. So that was a goal, but I didn't even consider really, first of all, it's not really realistic because I've got a 6-year-old and 8-year-old who have to attend school. So that doesn't really make sense. Doesn't make sense. Not feeling that. Anyway, but what I realized was I'm not going to knock that off of my list because I absolutely want that, but I'm not ready for that goal, meaning it's not the right time for that goal. That goal will come once my kids are in college or even likely halfway through college, where they really are becoming truly independent adults and not even coming home really anymore. Then I can really do that. So I'm not ready for that goal.
So ready really means, and I was just going through this in my head too, and you can tell me what you think. I was just looking at the base of that word too. Like ready, like read, like you read. So you're not read enough to do it, or you're not. So maybe in some cases we don't have enough information, or in some cases we're not, circumstances won't allow.
Okay. This is why I love your brain, Chris. So tell me, as best as you could do it, what is the definition as written in the dictionary of the word ready? As best as you could do it.
No, without looking it up, I would say, ready would be, some either prepared, but in prepared, right place, right time, right information, I guess is
Okay.
what I would expect to find.
Okay. Well, you're a smarty. You're a smarty because I don't think I would have answered that if I had not looked it up to actually, in my research. So ready does mean that. Ready. So there's three forms of ready that I'm bringing to the call here, which is as an adjective, being fully prepared, as a noun, the state of being prepared, and as a verb, to make something prepared or suitable, like go ready yourself. We're having dinner company. Or go ready the room. We have guests sleeping here tonight. But what's consistent is all of the forms of the use ready are about being prepared. Now, I would have answered it if you would have said, Laura, what's the definition of a ready? First of all, I don't really know. I don't think I've ever looked that up. So I really wouldn't know what the dictionary says. But my first kind of reaction is, it was about like what I'm doing. Like I would have felt it as an action and like, oh, I'm going. Okay, if I'm ready, that means I'm on something. That's what I would have thought ready was. But really, that's probably just what ready feels like. But it is. So it is about being prepared, Chris. And so it's so to use the word ready, know that what really you should be considering is am I prepared for this goal? Am I prepared right now in my life to go for starting a podcast or quitting this job to go to that job, or even to start a physical fitness program? Am I prepared? And that would include, I think, on all ways. Is my body prepared for that? Is my time, the schedule that I keep, the lifestyle that I have, is it ready or, prepared for that to be a part of it? Am I in the state of mind for that? So ready is being.
Well, and it's interesting too, because there's different kinds of ready, right? I mean, like you just said, there's ready emotionally, ready physically, ready with the body. So when we actually say we're ready for something, I mean, is it possible that we're misusing that and saying that, we're prepared to do something when we really aren't, just because, I don't know, everyone else is saying it, or we just use it that way?
Well, for sure. And I've done that myself. You're so excited about something that you'll just kind of, like I've said in previous sessions, the head is a hustler. The head is a hustler and the gut knows, because knowing is in the body. Knowing is not in the head. So a hustler will say anything to get what it wants. So right now I'm remembering me as a younger girl in my early 20s, moved to Chicago, and I wanted to be on radio and television. I wanted a career in that industry, and I wanted all that stuff. And I really wanted to be on camera or on the mic. I wanted that. But no way was I really ready. What ready really means, which means to be prepared. I wasn't prepared for a microphone to be in my face or a camera, and I would be able to show up and present and say and speak and whatever. There's no way. But if somebody said, Laura, could we put you on the camera? Which they did. When I worked at the radio, they gave me opportunities to be online, or I'm sorry, to be on air. And I made a fool of myself because I was absolutely not prepared. So when it comes to goals, here's how this word is useful. And that's all I'm bringing in my message, is how to use your words so that they are more empowering to you in your life and your reality versus less. And so when you are pursuing goals or approaching a challenge, are you ready? Are you really ready to solve this problem or pursue this goal? Are you ready for that? Which really means, are you prepared? And if you're not ready, then what you might be is, I'm very interested, and you just have to be honest with yourself. I am very interested in, whatever it is, buying a summer home, having another car. Lately for me, it's buying an e-bike. I am very interested in that. But am I ready right now? I'm not. And here's why I'm not ready. It's circumstantial. It's 0 degrees right now where I'm at. And there's no riding that in this. And I've got a few months of this kind of weather before it would be. So I'm not really quite ready to, I guess I could buy it early, but I'm not really quite ready. And maybe I'm not really ready to own one. Maybe I should rent one for a week and see, would I really live with this? And then be fully prepared to know I definitely should be buying myself an e-bike because I'm going to use it, or I really shouldn't because it really didn't pan out the way I thought.
You know what really hit me there is you were giving those examples and just being ready or prepared. Maybe and again, the brain's a hustler. So when we say we're ready to have this goal, maybe what we're really doing is just jumping ahead. Oh, we're ready. Like you're ready to have that fame, that success, but you weren't ready to get to that. I mean, you were absolutely ready to get to the end result, but you weren't ready to do the work to get there. Is that kind of maybe what a lot of us do?
Yes. And so all of that, and so this is why what I like to say is I'm on this pursuit to change or revolutionize self-talk, because we've got to really become better at self-agency or advocating for ourselves and not let the outside world do that for us. And so even with a word like ready, so that's very well said. There's a part of me that's ready. Oh, I'm ready for all the goods I could get from that. All those kind of, the perks or some of the gains. I'm very ready. But are you really ready? But think about it. But am I ready to do what it would take to get those? And that's just a conversation you have to have with yourself. And so ready will incite and trigger this kind of conversation versus, I really want to be on TV. How am I going to get on TV? Which would miss all of this. And then maybe you would get your chance like I did. And I kind of made a fool of myself. Landed real flat because I was not genuinely really ready and prepared in the sense of showing up and bringing the goods. And I want to throw this in because even it's, kind of early in the year. And so there's a lot of this, what am I going to make of this new year and all of that kind of stuff. And so how it's very useful to let's just say a very clear, mind, not somebody who's, a mess in their life, but somebody who feels like, well, I got it going on. How does this word work for me? If you look at, well, there are things, again, I'm going to kind of go back to, there are things that I've been saying I would like to do, I would love to have as a part of my life, or I think is essential for me, how I'm evolving and what I want to affect and achieve in my life, but I'm not doing them. So for that person, then one way to look at those things to say, well, within that thing that I want, which is I'm going to say, write a book. So I've been talking about writing a book for years and I'm not doing it. Why am I not doing it? Well, there's many, and there could be many different reasons why you're not. But in this sense of with this word that we're using, so why am I not doing it? So here's where the word ready could be helpful. Well, I'm not doing it. And every time I think about it, I kind of get overwhelmed, or I want to avoid. I want to put some other task in front of it so that I put it off. So that's telling. And one thing it could be telling, it could be you're not ready. It could be. But another way you could use ready is, okay, well, I'm not doing what I think I should be doing, which is I think I should be writing for 4 or 5 hours every day. Sometimes writers think that way, you got to write every day. That's the way, the only way you're going to write is if you write. So then if they're not doing that and they're resisting that, some arduous schedule of every day, putting tons of hours into writing, maybe they look at that and go, the whole, what all it takes to write a book, in all of that I'm aware of, what am I ready for? What is something within that I'm ready for? Maybe right now I'm just ready for just creating an outline of all the different chapter titles that I think that'd be a fun thing to write about. That would make sense as my first chapter. And then this would make sense. And I'm only ready just to know what the chapters would be about. And then maybe I put that aside until I'm ready for all different reasons to actually be able to lock myself into an office and be able to write for 4 or 5 hours, if that's what they think is the way for them to achieve that. So that's how that can be useful. And I'm effectively doing that right now in my life, and I'm getting great results doing that. Well, of that goal, what are you ready to do about it right now?
No, I like that. Break it down into the small steps and see what are you actually prepared to do, what are you not, and then that way you might actually be able to create another plan around it rather than just push it off, right? Because there are parts that you don't know you're ready for, or parts that you don't know how to be ready for it.
Yeah. And thank you for saying how, because I was going to do this anyway, but this is a perfect time to just kind of, how is one of these words. And so I want to remind people that you'll never know the how something is going to get done. You can't know the how. You'll only know the how once the book is written and published and out there. You can look back and go, that's how it all happened. And so when you approach it, like, what am I ready for? Well, I'm ready for just writing 1 page right now. That's where I'm at. I'm ready for that, not 5 chapters, or I'm ready just to write 1 chapter. Kids are out of town, or I'm holed up because of the weather, or I just happen to have a stroke of insight and creativity right now. So I'm going to capitalize on that and get 1 chapter out. That's what I'm ready for. Good. And by the doing of that, because that's the whole reason we're here, is to experience, to do. By the doing of that, something else is going to happen. When you're actually in the process, in the activity of whatever creation, other things happen that you would never know are going to happen unless you're in it doing it. Had to throw that in there. Know how. You can't know the how.
Well, that is a very powerful note to end on, as we are, up at the time. I think I'm ready to quite drop this one yet, but we'll follow up again next time. Again, Laura, thank you so much for being on the show. And to all our listeners, again, tune in again next week, and Laura will be back with another word. And again, just remember, if you can't find that motivation or inspiration for yourself today, just go out and try to be that motivation or inspiration for someone else. You're ready to do that.
Yeah.
And see you again next time.
Bye.